Let's do this.
Wait, the only way you can get it is by purchasing the other heaping pile of
Look,
shit.
no one cares. They're all like this.
Which is probably even worse than Enter the Dragonfly.
Fuck yes! Fuck yeah, man!
Oh,
That's music! Holy shit!
oh my god!
Well, holy shit. The only thing I cared about at E3 happened. Mr. Layden walked out after the classic Crash theme hit and got the loudest crowd reaction of the entire conference, aside from maybe whatever this was and the release date of The Last Guardian. The crowd continued to cheer while Shawn Layden confirmed a full remaster of the original Crash trilogy to be made from the ground up. I'm assuming it's getting the same treatment as Ratchet & Clank. The strong crowd reaction continued until the words Skylanders left his mouth, the crowd died, and that was what we all waited 3 years for since that first PlayStation 4 trailer. Let's talk about Skylanders first. It's not all bad. Crash looks good and he'll be a PS4 exclusive for the game. This means that there is certainly hope for a future Crash title down the line. Crash looks good and his gameplay looks pretty fun, honestly. It's also not the end of the world, as this inclusion to the Skylanders franchise will introduce a new generation to the character of Crash, so that when and if we get a new game down the line, they will recognise the name and Sony will do good business. Now for the remastered trilogy. Why did it have to be a trilogy? I know that there is now hope that we might see Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash remade or remastered down the line, but come on, I'm sick of waiting. Of course, I've said before that I'm not a huge fan of remasters. Why would I buy a game that I already own just because it's in HD? If I want that, I'll play it on my PS3, or download it on an emulator. However, this is what Shawn Layden said.
The original Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped, fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4.
Oh my god! That is so sick!
Fully remastered from the ground up on PlayStation 4. That tells me that Crash is most certainly going to get the Ratchet & Clank treatment. It's the familiar game but totally remade with nice graphics, what Naughty Dog would have made if the technology was available at the time. I like that a hell of a lot more than your standard remaster. But there is a reason why I've refused to buy a current gen console up until this point. A, because I thought I was on the money with my Crash 20th anniversary console idea, but also B, there is nothing on these consoles that makes me want to spend the money. And watching Sony's entire conference proved my point. The only things I liked the look of were Crash's remaster, Last Guardian, the Skylanders game just for Crash, and that zombie game. Everything else, while it's really exciting, doesn't do it for me. And over the last 3 years, including those 4 that I just mentioned, I can only name 10 or so games that I'm actually interested in playing. All I wanted out of this conference was something to give me an excuse to upgrade. And honestly, they haven't sold me yet. I feel like they brushed over the game that got one of the biggest crowd reactions of the entire event, instead of showing me a trailer for it with some gameplay. Then I'd be all over it. I'd already have that thing pre-ordered, but until I see gameplay of those 3 games getting this treatment, I won't be upgrading. But overall, it is certainly great to have the Bandicoot back. Let me know what you think with a comment below, followed with a like, subscribing and sharing the video. I'm Square Eyed Jack, and have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.